And now for this one, it's time for me to invite on stage a speaker, the professor from IIT Hyderabad, Professor Ponurangam Kumaraguru. Everybody please welcome Mr. Kumaraguru on stage.
That's probably the shortest introduction that I've ever had. Right? Just in case, I'm not from IIT Hyderabad, unfortunately. I'm with an institute which has an extra I to it, which is called IIIT Hyderabad. Okay, so yeah, so I think she did a good job in pronouncing my name. How many of you can pronounce my name properly? Me. Okay, so can somebody else try? No, I think it looks like you already have a Tamilian accent. So you are probably a Tamilian, right? So therefore, somebody else. Yeah. So how many of you have PhD?
You want us to walk out?
Why?
Do you want us to walk out?
No, it's okay. How many of you have PhD?
Pursuing PhD.
Nobody has a PhD, okay. How many of you are professors? Okay. How many of you have Twitter account? How many of you have LinkedIn account? Facebook, Insta, Snapchat, Tinder? Tinder? Oh, 18 years old, yeah. So I actually did this post this morning when I got out of the Mumbai airport. I didn't know how GFF 2022 is figuring out the hashtag and showing the post somewhere. That's also a nice idea, right? You show all the posts that is coming with GSS 2021 on a screen saying, oh, look, what people are talking about. So has anybody heard me before speak? That's always nice. The reason why I asked the first two questions is that you have a PhD and a professor. It's always nice to be among people who don't have a PhD. Right? I think I came in here at around 11. I've been going around attending different sessions just to see people whether there are anybody wearing kurta in the room. Everybody is very formally dressed, so I was like, okay, good. This is a nice place to give a talk, which is very different, right? Anybody who owns an NFT? Okay. How many of you know what an NFT is? Very nice. So that's also good. So in the last session when I was sitting there, I saw some people, is this the time that I'm supposed to stop? Ye to 40 chahiye na mere liye. I thought it's a 40-minute session, right? It's a 40-minute session?
Yes, sir.
This says only 22 now. So,
no worries. 40 minutes.
Yeah, okay. So last session, I saw a lot of people taking pictures of the slides and everything. Don't do all that. By the end of the session, we will do a selfie or a picture or something. I'll post it on LinkedIn. My slides will go on SlideShare. You can take it from SlideShare directly, okay? And if not, you can go to this website and take it yourself also. I will post all of it online. So just put your brain here for some time. So for people, some of you said that you knew NFT. What an NFT is? Quickly, fut. What is an NFT? What does it mean? Yeah, I was not looking for just the abbreviation. What does it mean?
Unique manifestation of something.
Unique manifestation of something. Just imagine, this is the first tweet that Jack posted when he set up Twitter. Do you know how much he sold that for? $2.9 million, okay? And I went and took a screenshot from Twitter saying that's the tweet that he posted. So something that you can go get a screenshot yourself, it's also worthy $2.9 million, right? So that's non-fungible tokens are something, as he said. I say that I own it, but there is a possibility that you can also go get it also, right, somewhere else. But you're the owner because, for example, this one, Elon Musk was trying to sell this NFT, which is a small video, right? And he was trying to sell the video. You could get this video on YouTube and also even store it in your phone or whatever, right? NFT is just showing that you're the owner. I heard some crypto words and all in few sessions. It will connect to all of that. Yeah, some words here, which is to show that from 2021, the market is really big. Okay? And I talked about this example, but here is another example if you know about this small paintings that somebody did, NFT artwork, sold for $69 million. Okay, next slide will have some examples also. So anybody has seen these kind of, sort of say, images? Yeah? Yeah. So these have become extremely popular that you can buy and sell on internet, right? Which is what is NFT business all about. Right? I'll jump back again. So when I asked you about how many of you are on Facebook, Twitter, Tinder, all that, is to just to show you a sample that, is there anybody in the room who's not on LinkedIn? Yeah, so that's the professional setting, right? All of you on LinkedIn for some reason. I don't know what that reason is, but whatever that is, either one, you're interested in what others are doing, poking into their life, or two, you're interested in showing off what you're doing. Right? These are the fundamental reasons why social networks are actually very popular. How many of you have already posted on LinkedIn or any platform that you're attending GFF 2022? Yeah, you should do that. No? So all of us contribute to this whole social media data that is getting created and all that. What our interest was, what am I trying to talk here, right? Our interest was to try and see that whether we can connect this whole NFT. There are two parts of the talk. One is the NFT, the other one is the looking at just the social media for ESG itself. When I looked at the conference theme, it said sustainability, all that, so I thought I'll talk about how social media connects to fintech plus the sustainability. So our interest was to connect to this social media growth, all of that. Anybody knows what these 4 V's are? Yeah, velocity, veracity, volume, all that, right? So essentially saying that, look, large amount of data is getting generated on all of these platforms. Fintech, all of you know the data that is getting generated. But my question has been for at least about a year or year and a half, thanks to NPCI for introducing me to some of this also, is that are you using social media to study fintech problems? Are you using social media for pushing content about fintech area, collecting information from social media to make choices about fintech decisions that you're making, all that? That's been my primary interest. Social media can be used for forecasting, fraud detection, meaning I think government is heavily using for demystifying also, right? Can be used for demystifying also. Today, if you saw some trending post in India where they were saying that some pictures that were uploaded on social media, it's actually fact-checked and it's actually real or fake. You can demystify, meaning when I started working on this, I actually went and collected a lot of data from Twitter to see who are the people who are talking about stock market, क्या-क्या ज्ञान दे रहे हैं. बहुत लोग ज्ञान दे रहे हैं social media में, right? And we don't know whether it is right or wrong. I think you are the people who knows whether it is right or wrong. For me, it all looks like a zeros and a ones. I can actually show that who are the people who are more influencers, who are trying to change the opinion of the people, all that. But I think it's people like you who should actually look at how to use this platform to demystify some of these ideas also. I definitely think that delivering services is a big, big thing. Again, fintech can think about in terms of this. I will talk later specifically about ESG. So given that only some of you knew NFT, I don't know whether you know about platforms where you can sell NFT. There are social media platforms where you can go sell these pictures, videos, all that. There are many platforms. One of the most popular platforms is called OpenSea. This is a platform where you say that, look, I have this cat image. I have an image of my dog and I want to sell it, picture of my dog. And you post it there and there are people who are bidding for it. All the process is set up, bidding, who gets to buy it, all that. So, but this platform is extremely popular. The $10 billion that I said, probably majority of the fraction of that sales is happening actually on this platform called OpenSea. Just to give you one example, CryptoPunks, this is a very popular OpenSea account. Again, it's a verified account where they post a lot of these content and try selling it there. How many of you said you're on Twitter? What do you do on Twitter? Give me one or two examples that you use Twitter for. Customer support, okay, very nice. Real-time updates, okay. बारिश हो रही है, पानी यहाँ बंद हो गई है, traffic वहाँ है, right? All that you do, right? So one thing that we thought we'll do Twitter was to figure out whether we can actually predict the cost of an NFT if I want to sell something, right? Can I actually, I'm using NFT only as an example here, but you can think of, I'm sure you're creative enough to think of other ways to look at how it is useful for you. But we thought that can we use this Twitter to decide, Elon Musk wants to sell NFT on Twitter. Can we predict the value of what he will be able to sell that NFT using Twitter? Is that okay? Is the problem statement clear? Yes? Use social media to figure out a value, which is why when I was talking to Pravina and all, I think it looks like they got excited about this part. Can you use social media to figure a value of something that you can sell or buy? Right? How do we, I'll walk you through how we did it. So first we took the Twitter platform. Given that some of you said you post, right, traffic updates, live updates, customer service, all that, we also collected tweets from Twitter, but which has one information which says that on Twitter they are talking about their OpenSea. I take a picture of my dog, post it on OpenSea, come to Twitter and say that I want to sell this picture of my dog. Is anybody interested in buying? That's the tweet that we are interested in. Okay, we took that tweet, we took thousands and thousands of tweets like that, and now we went to OpenSea. Given that, oh, here is an example which will show you. That's the post. That's a tweet which says sales end in 28 days, official album release in days, and a link to OpenSea. We took this tweet. We know that OpenSea means that they're selling some NFT. We went and collected all the posts that has OpenSea link like this. Now I know, can somebody give me your name? One of your name? Deep. I know Deep. Let's get somebody else's name. Jasmine. Okay, good, right? Jasmine has a Twitter account where she's posting about this OpenSea. Jasmine also has an OpenSea account. So now I have connection between a Twitter account or OpenSea account, and in the process what I have done is I've collected all her followings of Twitter. Okay? And all her followings on OpenSea. All the transactions that she's made on OpenSea. All that she sold on OpenSea. All this data I collected. Why? Because all of this is publicly available in these platforms, so we actually can collect all of this information, right? So that's what I'm showing you here. Collect data, tweets, query the OpenSea platform, OpenSea features, so we can actually take the tweet and the OpenSea and look at features by which it is actually, features that are available in the tweet and OpenSea. What could be a feature? One feature could be, as she said, I'll put real-time updates. I can look for a feature saying that is the tweet has a location in it. She's saying that traffic in hashtag Chembur, and then she's saying something. Now I have a location called Chembur there. Can I figure that out? And can I figure out the time of the post? Can I figure out the gender of the person who's posting? All that is called features, which we can use to make some decisions, okay? If it's okay, can I get a bottle of water? Right, okay. So now tweets, OpenSea, data collected, all that. Now I'll show you some patterns in this data which will actually be super interesting to decide on how we can actually find the cost of the NFT that somebody wants to sell on tweet, on OpenSea from Twitter data itself. You understood what a feature is? How many of you have taken anything closely related to any introduction to machine learning class? Feature engineering, features, all that, right? So simple enough. What is a feature? Let's take, if I take a picture in this classroom now and ask you, find the number of heads, number of male and number of female in the picture, the features that you will use is a few things, right? Features is how many of us have kitna baal hai, kitna baal nahi hai, right? Some facial features. All that you will use for making a choice whether it's a male or a female. That's all I'm doing on OpenSea. Okay? Okay. The first graph, total tweets and NFT. So x-axis is the data time of the post, right? And y-axis is the fraction of the total items. I'll go through slowly for you to understand. There are two lines. One is the NFTs, one is the tweets. Okay, so the graph is creation date versus fraction of total items that are posted. Essentially, this graph is saying that when I actually create an NFT on OpenSea, I actually go tweet about it. Go look at Elon Musk. What he will do is he will create an OpenSea item. collection, and then he'll go to Twitter and then say that I want to sell this. Why is this useful? This is actually useful to know how much of people, or next graph also will help you to understand whether Twitter is helping somebody to sell items. When you said that you will use Twitter for something, I don't know how many of you have seen where all people are using Twitter to sell items. Insta is a great place for selling things now. Does anybody sell things on Insta now? Right? Or how many of you have bought things on Insta? Birthday parties and all of that, now Insta is the place to buy, right? So similarly, can you use the platform to buy and sell NFT? That's the point here. So this one, x-axis is the number of followers. I'm just showing you different features to say that how effectively you can use this platform to make some decisions. X-axis is number of followers, which is, let's take I'm on this side, 10 followers. Let's take Amitabh Bachchan is on 10 to the power of 5 here, or Elon Musk maybe 10 to the power of 7, right? Number of followers that somebody has is on the x-axis. Y-axis is what is the price that I sell. Essentially, this graph is showing that if you have more and more followers, the chances of you selling the product for higher is higher. Okay? And that's why the earlier graph also makes sense, right? Which is when I add it on OpenSea, I immediately go to Twitter and say that I want to sell it, because thereby I can actually get more followers followed on Twitter. Okay. So this one is, so how many of you have in your Twitter profile, how many of you say that you're from Mumbai? How many of you say that the place of your work? In the profile, no? Profile. For example, if you go to my profile, it will say hashtag IIIT Hyderabad, hashtag Profgiri, hashtag alumni of so-and-so and all that. Anybody remembers what you have added something, location? Or so the goal here is that to find out if you create an OpenSea, if you create an NFT and if you want to sell it, are you adding NFT to your profile? The chance of you adding NFT to a profile increases the probability of you selling the NFT for a higher price. Essentially, again, the goal is that, earlier somebody said customer service, right? You can think of this as, again, if somebody is adding the information of the products that they're selling in their own profile, there are high chances that they're going to sell their product for a higher cost. Is that okay? Yes? You're okay? How many of you understood until here? You're okay with whatever I've said?
No, can you repeat the last sentence?
Arey, you have to raise your hand. This is a student-professor class. ऐसे नहीं कि मैं मैनेजर हूँ, मैं वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हूँ, मैं नहीं हाथ ऊपर करूँगा. ऐसा नहीं चलेगा. हाँ.
Can you repeat the last sentence? I mean, the chance somebody.
So if I add in my profile hashtag NFT, there's a high chance that I'm going to actually sell NFT on my Twitter account, talk about my NFT on. I'm also, the probability of my NFT being sold a higher price is higher.
That is a conclusion from some of the graphs you show.
Yeah, that's a conclusion. No, this is, if you look at this also, right? User creation dates and the fraction of accounts created, if you see, the NFT affiliated accounts are the ones which are creating more OpenSeas on the platform, selling more on the OpenSea platform. If I add NFT, and we have seen this, all verified accounts also do it. They go do a OpenSea collection addition, they come to Twitter, add the tweet about it, add NFT to their Twitter handle. The probability of them selling, for the higher cost is higher. Okay? So essentially the point is that social media, at least my conversation with a little bit about connections with NPCI, all that, I haven't heard people talk about using social media for some of these things, which is price prediction. Stock market also. Stock market is another big so to say area where people are trying to use social media to say that, can I actually predict the value of the stock of ICICI tomorrow by using the tweets that are posted? Right? That's also a great question. But there are other things that you can do with the social media data is what my claim here is. Okay? A growth of NFT, meaning so how many of you are on Reddit? What do you use Reddit for?
Most of the posts that you find interesting already come on Reddit, and there are some focused forums.
Yeah, subreddits, no? Okay, in subreddit, what do you do? What subreddit are you part of? I see some smiles. They don't want to say what subreddit they are part of, right? When I asked about Tinder also, the other question that I would have generally asked is, how many of you don't want to answer the question that you have a Tinder account? Right? So that's the... So again, one pump and dump scam was, how many of you know what that kind of scam is? Right? It's basically saying that, look, on Reddit, people keep talking about some stock very frequently, and then they say that this is all great stock. They'll all show that they're all buying. Nobody's buying. Eventually, you will also follow the herd behavior and go buy it, and then they will all crash. Right? And people have used social media to study all this. Right? At least I haven't seen a lot of these kind of things in the fintech world. People talking about how to use social media for making these choices. But Reddit is another great platform to actually study some of these things. When I said, no, there are बहुत लोग ज्ञान दे रहे हैं stock market के value, investment के बारे में, I'm sure there is a lot of subreddits on Reddit talking about where to invest, where not to invest. I'm sure there are fake ones also there. Right? So that's a paper in case any of you are interested in this. Go play around, look around for buying or selling NFTs. We'll come back to this. I think those are my social media handles. Okay, now to the second part of, any questions still here? Much time. Yeah. Any questions still here? No? Everything is clear? By the way, just in case, when we finish, we have a quiz. So she just went to print the question paper and come. If you don't get 80 or more, I'll not let you to go out of the room. You have to stay here, listen to another talk of mine, and then only you can go. Okay? So is that fair? Okay, so now you should answer my question. Yeah, any questions? Any clarifications for the first part?
The part in the graph that was not seen, what is clear to me, somebody adds a tag to the Twitter profile and post about it.
Yeah.
OpenSea in Twitter, okay, the probability of selling is high.
Yeah.
But you also made a statement that the probability of selling it for a higher value is more. But where did you get that value?
Oh, yeah. So that is actually in the paper. So, I mean, as a talk, we can only show you some parts, right? Yeah, that part is in the paper where we show that the value of the selling is higher because you're actually talking about it on social. Yeah. Any other clarifications? How many of you understood NFT now? You did not know NFT before. How many of you understood what an NFT is at least? हाथ ऊपर करना पड़ेगा, मुंडी लाके चलेगा नहीं. Okay, let's continue. Some questions. Another question that I was, particularly I looked at the title and then I said we should talk about this part at least. Again, connecting to social. What is ESG? What is ESG? Wow, I thought that all of you would know. I was going to make a statement saying that, all of you would know, I'm just a novice here. I just started with ESG recently. But no, ESG is not a common thing. Okay. So I took the Wikipedia definition here just for to be on the safe side. If nothing else, at least in this lecture, you would have understood what ESG and NFT is, right? ESG is environmental, social, and corporate governance. It's a framework designed to be integrated into an organization, very, very abstract, but organization strategy to create enterprise value by expanding the organization objectives. But the idea is that sustainability-related risks and opportunities can be identified. Okay, so the keyword is these three: environmental, social, and corporate governance. Okay. And I don't know whether the conference people are thinking about sustainability from this angle. I thought that I'm looking at actually social media from a sustainability of fintech. So I thought it'll be interesting to talk about, right? So is that clear? Environmental, social, and corporate governance, generally a framework so that companies do a good job about whatever you're supposed to be doing. You're talking about environmental betterment. You're talking about societal impact. You're talking about governance inside your company. That's what ESG is. Okay? I'm actually really surprised that not many of you know about ESG. Okay. So the way we saw ESG, I just took this definition of ESG from here, and we said that we'll translate it from a social media point of view. What does it mean to look for ESG on social? Okay. We talked about Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. So now I think you'll be able to understand what the relationship is. What is environmental relationship, right? Tweets that concern with corporate entity and mentions any form of positive or negative impact on the environment. I'll show you some examples later. Actual tweets which are talking about environment. But for example, somebody is talking about, meaning let's take a Master or Visa card is talking about how much of carbon emission analysis that they did from the people's transactions. They figured out that how much of carbon emission is going on. Or Tesla talking about something, right? That's what an environment definition is in an ESG. Okay? Social definition, tweets concerning with employees of the corporation. That is diversity, there is a gender ratio in our offices, X versus Y, right? Or we had this employee of the month, and then this person is getting this employee of the month award. Goodness about the employees talked about on social, about your own organization. The last one is governance, which is tweets concerning with regulatory governance, audit, agency, shareholders. So let's take that you want to do your general body meeting and you take a picture of the general body meeting and post about it. Or you fire your CEO, or you do something like that, right? That's what the last part of governance is. Is that okay? Okay with the definition? Okay-ish? Raise your hand if you have understood what ESG is. People who are not raising their hand, please get out of the room. Okay, so why ESG on social, right? So ESG on social is such a important thing because it looks like, at least when we started looking at these ESG reports, every company is somewhat mandated also in some parts of the world, I guess, to write ESG reports and say what they are doing in ESG every year. So when we started looking at these reports, it comes in some sort of say yearly fashion or once in 2 years, all of that. And there we were asking the question that, look, if I have to understand Tesla's ESG stand, if it takes me next year to know that, why don't I just analyze whatever Tesla is talking about on the social, or others who are talking about social, about Tesla on social, and figure out what their ESG is. And please understand this ESG will be connected to, I don't know what the status in India is, all that, but ESG will be at some point in time connected to your organization performance, regulation, all that is also being discussed at some point in time, right? So therefore, use social, study ICICI's ESG portfolio from using tweets, figure out what they're speaking, and push out reports about ESGs plus ICICI. Right? I definitely see a space there for, sort of say, organizations to try out taking social media posts to talk about ESG itself. Here are 3 examples. I will let you figure out which is E, which is S, and which is G, or figure out when you tell me. The first tweet on the left top, 13 months ago, I test drove Tesla for fun. I wasn't even in the market, blah, blah, blah. Then it says that I appreciate it more daily, especially with the current gas prices. Left bottom, these are all real tweets, right? And it may take a while, but sooner or later, even the last person will understand that the most financially sound car company is in this crisis is Tesla. The last one is, if you would like to attend Tesla's 2022 shareholder meeting in person, please sign up. Which is E, which is S, and which is G? Quickly. Huh? First one is E. Okay, this one is E. I don't know which is the first one, but yeah, okay. This one is G. Okay. This is S. That is G. Okay. This is A. Something, right? Okay, this is S. The right answer is this is E, this is S, and this is G. Okay? So now that you have figured out how to do it, right, in few seconds, I can get a computer to do this now. Is that fair? Yes, right? So today you can, whatever human beings can do, there's a high probability that we can build a small system to do the same thing. I don't know what the accuracy would be, but at least an attempt could be made to say that, look, we can actually figure out what an E and what a S and what is a G is from the tweets itself. Please understand, I'm using Twitter as an example, but Twitter is not the only platform. I'm using Twitter just because the data is available, everything. Whatever I'm saying, you can use it for any other social media platform. Okay? And I myself actually can do it on all platforms also. What was our goal? Our goal today is that, I don't know whether we are very successful here, but our goal today is that given this tweet, I should be able to give a, so let's take this is a program that is running. I should be able to say that this is E. I don't know how you decided that that's E. Potentially the definitions that we saw, which is environment here, it's environment talking about, oh, honestly, my car, honestly say that it's the most fun car, blah, blah, blah. It's talking about Tesla, new model, owning a car. Probably that's why you said that C. Those are features we can derive. Let's not get into that. You can go do yourself understanding of machine learning and everything. But for now, simplistically, I can use some simple keywords to decide that whether it is E or S or a G. Is that okay? I'll create a I'll go through everybody who understands ESG, create a set of keywords, keep looking for each of those keywords. The more the number of keywords that appear, I will put it in each of the bucket and decide whether it's E or S or a G. Okay. And for those of you who are more technically savvy and technically interested in doing this, there are already systems that exist to do this. We only have to put the pipeline together to figure out whether how to get this ESG part done. So there is something called FinBERT. I did not know all this before I started. I only learned it on the way in the last at least about a year or so. FinBERT, ESG BERT, KeyBERT. BERT is basically a machine learning model that you can use. Give me a text that as an input. BERT can tell you whether that text is written in Hindi. BERT can tell you whether it's a fake news. BERT can tell you what are the keywords that are there. BERT can tell you whether it's actually about finance company or it's about a social network company. Right? So essentially, if you just take this BERT, any input that is given, BERT, output could be all that I said. There are already existing, just a GitHub code from all these places, which you can actually try and use it to say that input given text, output given whether it is a financial related text or not. So that's the example of a keywords that we're using now. So we have already built a system which actually takes these tweets and then says that what is ESG. Here's a set of keywords that we use today, a big list. And this list also, we are not creating this list. There are actually big bodies which are creating these kind of keywords. And they are the ones who are actually doing the ESG regulation, policies, definition, all that. We just took it from somewhere. All right? Is that okay? Keywords, tweets, it could be LinkedIn post, it could be anything. Now we have the capability of saying that give me a social media post of people like you. I can actually say that what either your company or the organization that you're talking about, how connected, how relevant they are to ESG part. Okay? And today the system that we have built, this one also we can add, right? We can also, one of the features could also be that not necessarily look at only the text. The feature can also be that, Jasmine, she was just yawning and she must have been, what, right? Jasmine posted a tweet and that tweet got 24 likes, right? And let's take somebody else from this side that did a post and that got 240 likes. Now there is I'm sure that you can already make a relationship of tweets with 24 likes and tweets with 240 likes, right? And now you can actually say that which of them should have higher weightage in deciding what goes into the ESG component, right? Somebody who said something which has more people are liking it, there's a high probability that that's more relevant, that's more important, right? That's what we are also doing. Minimum number of likes of a tweet to say that, look, people talk about all of these topics, and if nobody likes and nobody retweets, that's not of importance to anybody, right? So that's the idea. Okay. What we end up doing now is, given the input, we can actually say that classifies tweet. So FinBERT ESG classifies tweets as ESG. ESG BERT classifies tweets into, so there is, ESG is only at the eye level. Every ESG, so to say, environment can also go at a subcategory, right? Every category, it's okay, they'll figure out a seed, don't worry. All of you are turning around and figuring out, what's happening, right? It's okay, unko dekh lenge, right? So there is a tweet, and then I classify that tweet at E or S or a G. E can actually have a subcategory also, right? We saw what's the definition of E. I'm sure you can relate a lot more words to that E more than just the definition keywords that we showed. Is that okay? Example? So for example, even this itself, no? If you go to the definition of environment here, tweets that concern corporate entity and mentions about positive or negative, that's all the definition is. That's all the official definition is. But I can actually translate that into so many keywords, no? Right? So that's what a subcategory could be. So now by defining, so what does this BERT do? This BERT does only that. ESG BERT is saying that I will take a tweet, I don't care whether it is ESG tweet or not, I'll put it into the subcategories of whatever I know that of ESG is, right? The last one I already said, which is to just figure out keywords. So currently we have already built a system which is at a efficiency of 84%. We are also trying to deploy this out to see that can I actually get a ESG report of Tesla? Can I get a ESG report of Google? Just by using the tweets that people are either talking about Google or Google itself is talking about tweets that they are posting and making an inference from there. Right? Why it is important? I'm able to get real-time, close to real-time analysis of ESG. I also don't, meaning when a company reports whatever you're doing, there's always a bias, right? Yes? Yes, no? Yeah, there is always an either intended or sometimes unintended bias. Meaning companies not wanting to say something bad, but the way that they express itself is actually biased in some sense. That's the bias. Meaning I think the power of social media is that bias generally goes away. You can argue that there are other biases that comes in because now the public is speaking and you don't know whether they're expert or not. They're just ranting about something and you're using the data to make some inferences which could be completely baseless. But there are methods to actually avoid it, right? Okay. So my takeaway for at least for the last 13, 14 years is that how many of you have been part of earlier social media accounts? How many of you had Orkut account? Wow, you're all really old generation people. Really old people. Right? Okay, so how many of you had account on MySpace? There used to be a platform called, there are people in MySpace also, right? So I think the idea of social media is not going away for the two things that I said. And particularly in Facebook, if you remember, there was a feature called Poke. And the image of it also was like this. नाक डालना होता है ना दूसरों को जिंदगी में. Facebook, meaning the intent of a social media is that, right? You're always probing into what others are doing, or you're doing the second one, which is called vanity. What I'll do now is when the session ends in another 3 minutes, I'll take a selfie with all of you, go do a post on LinkedIn saying I gave a master class in fintech, blah, blah, blah. I'll brag about it, everything. Why am I doing it? Because I want my friends to look at it, saying that, oh, look, or not friends, or at least somebody to look at it, saying, oh, nice, the professor is having fun. Right? That's the whole idea of social, right? How many of you are on Insta? How many of you checked your Insta from morning until now at least once? Okay. How many of you checked any social media platform from morning at least once? No, WhatsApp, no. WhatsApp is not a social network. Okay, how many of you did not check any social network? If not WhatsApp, how do you live your life? What do you do? There's no network here. Sorry, I also was trying to check my LinkedIn thing that I did in the morning, but I also do not have network here, yeah? So social media is not going to go away because it's a fundamental reason of human behavior. This was always there, by the way. Always there, knowing what others are doing in their life. बगल वाले घर पे कौन सा गाड़ी लिया था, कौन सा साड़ी खरीदा था, कहाँ से साड़ी खरीदे थे, कितना महंगा था, ये सब has been our part of our life. It's just that these platforms have just made it so faster to get. Today you can just do a call with somebody. For example, I do lectures sitting in my office, Facebook Live, to like 1,000 students with just click of a button, and 1,000 people get my content, right? Which is not the case in the past. That's all. Right? So one request for people, I made this request before also, but here is another attempt for making a request, which is how many of you have interacted with an academic person before, not your own professors, in your professional life, how many of you have interacted with an academic person? In what context? Can I know? Pitch a solution, okay. Anything else? Mentoring, advisory. Okay, very nice. It looks like very nice, right? Please do it because I think this proportion itself is very small, right? I always think that academic interactions with, thanks to Praveena for this. I think it was Praveena's ideas to actually get me here. It's fantastic to see actually these kind of events from an academic. I told her that this is massive. 5,000 people or 3,000 people showing up here and doing these all formally dressed, right? Have professors on committees. I pick on that professionally dressed because this is my best I can get. This is, huh?
I don't know whether you know that there's a person with a dhoti today.
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah. So, and he was a very young guy also. He was a very young guy. All right? So have professors on your committees, boards, if possible. They're not that expensive, right? So you should definitely consider. I like this quote. I recently finished reading this book called Alchemist. How many of you read this book? How many of you know about this book? How many of you read it? Oh, super nice. So I read this book recently, and then there was this one line which said that learn to recognize omens and follow them. I know what you're taking it away from that. I will let you do creativity to decide what an omen is for you. But I think that there's fantastic ways to connect, at least social, for financial industry. That's extremely clear to me. But I don't know whether that is being pursued that way. Today, when I walked around in that pavilion of this floor or the earlier one floor below, I did not see any. I mean, I saw a lot of these payment-based app solutions, but that's there. But I think there are other avenues also that I would really request you to look at it. But I'll go back to this slide. This slide is the reason why I came to give this talk, to get some LinkedIn requests, to get some followers, right? That's my social media handles. If you're interested in any ways to connect with me, feel free to connect. I will take the selfie that I promised, and then I'll stop. It's 40 minutes, so I'm done. Thank you. Can we do a selfie? Yeah? Okay, so let's try. Okay, so that's good that everybody's here. I'll send it to Praveena saying that that's my class. Okay, any questions quickly?
Yes, any questions? Please go ahead. It's your opportunity now.
Opportunity for what? I don't know, but
Opportunity, you're here, sir. They can ask
Yeah,
any questions they like.
Yeah, feel free to. Huh?
Yeah, you can find him on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. He's everywhere.
Just search for PONNURANGAM. PONGUR. It's a verified account. How can Twitter not show that? I will report that. So otherwise, search just for my name. This one. Search for this name. I'm the only Facebook user with that name. There's no other Facebook user with the name called Ponnurangam Kumaraguru. It's impossible. Just search for, no, if you search even for PK, it will come actually. Yeah, see, somebody got it. Naam dhoond lijiye na.
Okay, you can search that later on, but please ask questions if you have any. Yeah, anybody?
Praveena, I took your name once or twice in between, so you can look at the reading, recording where all I took you. Yeah.
Get the mic.
1 to 2 gram keywords is that, yeah. So if you go to here, right? Let's go to keywords. So what does a 1 gram keyword means? Let's do it here, yeah. Right? So 1 gram keyword means I'm using only, let's take integrity. Business integrity together makes it 2 gram. It's essentially 1 word versus 2 word, right? You can build a system which is n gram, which is called, this is n gram. But it just also gets into a lot of noise in the data, because if you add, let's take business integrity, transparency, hazardous substances, there's also a lot more junk that can come on the data. So today we are restricting ourselves with 2 gram, that's all. So that's a 3 gram.
Okay.
That's a 3 gram.
So what is 1 gram?
Yeah. So this one is 1 gram.
Okay. Great, thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. On social media in general, or what context? ESG only this. ESG, I think ESG itself is such a small space. No, currently, any external? Yeah, we're talking to some companies also. Because I think these are interesting directions to use social to collect data and make some inferences, which at least we have not seen it, so we thought we'll actually attempt it. Yeah, you had a question, sir. Yeah. Let's do a quick. How much more time do I have? Accordingly, I'll paste something.
Take 2, 3 questions.
Yeah. Okay. So quick sort of same machine learning or information retrieval, right? So one approach is that I create a dictionary. ABCD words. All of these words are in the dictionary. When I get a tweet, I use this dictionary to make a choice of what the words are. That's not a best approach, right? Because keywords does not get you always the necessary things. You may be talking about ESG, but not using any of the keywords that are relevant. That's possible. And a word called, let's say, preparedness can give you something which is not ESG also. So if you think about it, the technical terms for this are called as precision and recall. If you're interested, go look up what these words are. I mean, the way to look up it is how good if you do a Google search, the results that the Google is giving, recall will be better, recall will be higher if they're able to get all the documents that are relevant, right? Precision will be higher if in the top 10, exactly what you want they are giving you. That's the difference between a recall and a precision. Precision is what you want is what is shown to you, right? So given the problem that I said in terms of dictionary, that's there. So actual approaches that people would use is that I'll take a tweet, I'll do something called as POS tagging, okay? Which is to say that so let's take a tweet which has what is noun, what is verb, what is adjective, blah, blah, blah. Now I know the linguistic properties of the tweets, then I will make a choice of which one to use and which not to use in conjunction with the dictionary. So today's NLP, so I think we talked about earlier also, right? When today a lot of projects in India are attempting this, you speak in Hindi to somebody who does not know Hindi, your Hindi is getting, or let's take Malayalam. You speak in Malayalam, Malayalam is getting translated into English, English is then translated into Tamil, and Tamil is spoken to them. If two people who, I know Malayalam and the other person knows Tamil, this is done. This is not done by keyword, right? It is impossible to create this text that I'm speaking just using keyword. What those solutions do is this kind of minimalist POS tagging. Of course, there are more machine learning involved in it, but that's how it is done. It takes the semantic meaning of it and then tries attempting it, not just the sort of a syntactic meaning, which is mostly the dictionary words. Context. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
We have more time. We can take some more questions. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Mic too. So like,
yeah.
Okay. So no, there are companies that already do sentiment analysis.
Yeah.
Both from the company side to see what the public is talking about us, and also from investment, just to see, okay, if you are investing in this stock, what's the latest buzzword like?
Yeah.
So, and also, I mean, there are companies that do research on politically sensitive people if there is an important decision to be made.
Yeah.
Credit decisions.
Yeah.
Other than that, what do you think is the possible usage of this social media analysis? Because I thought, okay, it is being put to its proper use, and again for pump and dump, those are all social engineering stuff.
Yeah.
Social media is the best vehicle for it.
Yeah.
Do you see any other avenue? I mean,
so
are you approaching this from another angle?
You are only looking at only the sort of say pull, right? You're saying that look, tweet exists. You want to do some analysis of sentiment and figure it out.
No, okay. I mean, I'm not talking about people who want to shape public sentiment by posting tweets or using influence. And I'm taking that out.
Okay.
That's a different thing, not related to how companies use APIs to query from this social media stuff.
Okay. So the question is there anything more can be
anything
done
more? Yeah.
other than sentiment? Is that the question?
Yes.
Oh, come on. I think the push part is the word that I think is more important, which is shaping the opinion. Today, if you see, right, there is the idea of press conference has gone away, no? Government and organizations don't say that, oh, let's do a press conference, get press people, let's say that this happens. The CEO or the CTO or somebody, secretary posts, and done, no? News media people, Anand Mahindra is a great example from Mumbai, no? He does a tweet and Times of India tomorrow writes about it. Where is this coming from? That's just coming from simply the Twitter, right? So I think the sentiment is only one angle to the whole content that is available on social, but you could use it for ESG also. At least I never knew that cost of a stock market can be predicted by using tweets, right?
Right.
And then, oh, by the way, elections can be predicted using tweets, right? Yes. So which means your next government can be one is influenced through Twitter, the other is I can also get to know who has the greater chance by looking at tweets also. Right? Okay, cool.
Excuse me. Yeah. So you said you mentioned faculties can come on board of companies.
Yeah.
Do they need to be certified to become a board of directors or independent directors?
So, sorry. No, I'm actually pursuing. If you can stop recording, that'll be better. But that's okay too, right? Recording band kar lijiye. Yeah. So I don't think so. That's a problem. So currently, I'm actually pursuing some companies to be on the board. I don't know what certification level you're talking about. They have told me that there is this content that I have to digest. and I have to take an exam, which is an online exam for some 20 minutes, 30 minutes, MCQ questions, I have to pass. That I will do, no? What's the problem? यार इतना तो कर लूँगा company में board member आने के लिए उतना test तो कर ही लूँगा, right? So yeah. So you're basically selling your company here. I thought that you were curious to know how I can become a board member. Very nice strategy, by the way. Good question also. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
So like there is this news regarding Elon Musk saying that most of the Twitter accounts, many of them are fake, like they are bot accounts.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, do you use this ML to identify which of them are specifically or possibly they could be bots, like which are pushing a particular agenda or a sentiment? Like because it is they are driving the consumer sentiments, most of the bots and all. So you need to filter them out, or you will get a biased output.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is that statement of large proportion of them are bots is true. We have methods to figure out that whether it's a bot or not. No, you have to collect data. There's no way that if this is Twitter, I take all this data from Twitter. I'm very, very certain that entire content is not going to be very useful for all choices. I have to actually remove some parts, let's take, which is bots or fraud or whatever you want to call it. So just simple techniques you can, people have tried many techniques. The short answer is yes, machine learning can be used to figure out whether a given account is a bot, whether a given tweet, whether it is posted by a bot, whether a tweet which is a tweet that is posted, whether it is fake or real. All of that has been attempted. But the biggest problem in all that is, in social problem is, something that will come up new. Bangalore में floods हुआ, किसी का घर में, let's take, सांप आ गई. उसको tweet किसी ने करा, वो सांप आई नहीं आए, कैसे verify कैसे करूं? Machine learning तो नहीं कर सकता है. Machine learning cannot do that, right? So that's where the limitations of all these technologies become. But there have been already existing technologies, platforms which are built, extremely useful platforms through API. You can send a request to the system saying that this is a tweet ID. It will return whether it is fake or real. Yep. Okay. Okay, if nothing else, thanks again. Hopefully you got something, and look forward to connecting with you on some social platforms at some point. Thank you.
Everybody, let's give a round of applause to Professor Ponurangam Kumaraguru.